5 World Hot News You Should Know from May 16 to 20 of 2021. Welcome to VIETUS US1040 channel, the world's hot news. Today we would like to share 5 world hot news that you should know from May 16 to May 20 of 2021 as follows. Newsletter 1. Breaking news that the U.S. sent warships through the Taiwan Strait, demonstrating its commitment to the region. Newsletter 2. The strongest storm in decades swept through western India, causing heavy damage. Newsletter 3. Israel carried out a larger airstrike at several locations in the Gaza region. Newsletter 4. Britain reopens after 4 months of lockdown because of COVID-19. Newsletter 5. China's skyscraper shakes, causing panic. The following are the details of the newsletter. Newsletter 1. Breaking news that the U.S. sent warships through the Taiwan Strait, demonstrating its commitment to the region. The hottest news is that on May 19, 2021, a U.S. Navy warship passed through the Taiwan Strait amid rising tensions between Taiwan and mainland China. More detailed information revealed that the 7th Fleet said the guided missile destroyer USS Curtis Wilbur Arleigh class conducted its usual voyage on May 18 and that the route and movements were fully complied with international law. According to the 7th Fleet's statement, the ship's passage through the Taiwan Strait demonstrates the U.S. commitment to the free and open Indo-Pacific region. The U.S. military will continue to fly, ship and operate wherever international law allows. The Taiwan Defense Agency alone said that the U.S. warship had sailed south through the strait and the situation was still as normal. The U.S. Navy often sends warships through the Taiwan Strait in operations that usually take place every month, despite China's objections. We should know more that military tensions between Taiwan and mainland China have increased over the past year when Taiwan criticized Beijing for sending its air force into Taiwan's Air Defense Identification Zone, ADIZ. Observers say that with the recent announcement of Taiwan's Mainland Affairs Council, MAC, in a report to Taiwan's Legislative Yuan, China remains the main source of instability in Taiwan Strait. It makes it clearer that Beijing has recently warned the U.S. not to cross China's red lines about Taiwan's status. The goal is to prevent the U.S. and the international community from engaging in cooperation with Taiwan. Newsletter 2. The strongest storm in decades swept through western India, causing heavy damage. The world press on May 19, 2021 simultaneously reported at least 33 people dead and 90 missing after Cyclone Tauktae swept through the western Indian state of Gujarat, causing much damage. The storm, with winds of up to 130 km/h, broke the windows of many houses near the sea, toppled thousands of trees and power poles, divided many areas and left hundreds of thousands of people without power. Chief Minister Vijay Rupani in the state of Gujarat said most of the victims died due to house collapse. The storm that made landfall late on May 17 left more than 16,500 houses damaged, 40,000 trees toppled, and nearly 6,000 villages without power. Residents say we have never seen such a powerful storm in our lives. It was dark because of the power outage and the wind howled terrifyingly. It should be known that Gujarat is also the hometown of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. During May 19, Mr. Modi visited the damaged areas. It is a pity that Cyclone Tauktae hit India at the right time when the country surpassed the 25 million mark of COVID-19 cases and set a new record for the number of deaths, 4,340 cases on May 17.
Newsletter 3. Israel carried out a larger airstrike at several locations in the Gaza region. The explosions in the large-scale attack rocked the city from north to south within 10 minutes over a larger area than a series of airstrikes 24 hours earlier, the General News said. Initial reports said 42 Palestinians were killed in the deadliest attack since the outbreak of fighting between Israel and the armed group Hamas that governs Gaza. The press reported that Israeli warplanes carried out a series of intense airstrikes on several locations of Gaza City early on May 17, 2021. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu recently said Israeli attacks were continuing on a full scale and would be time-consuming. He said Israel will make the militant group Hamas pay dearly. The Secretary of Defense, and even his political rival, Benny Gantz, showed solidarity on this issue. But on the contrary, the Hamas side also continuously exerted pressure, launching rockets from within the civilian area of Gaza towards the civilian areas of Israel. Israel's emergency services said a person rushed into a synagogue south of the city of Ashkelon hours before a vigil for the Jewish holiday of Shavuot. However, no casualties were reported. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres told the United Nations Security Council on May 16 that hostilities in Israel and Gaza were absolutely appalling and called for an immediate end to the fighting. It is reported that intense attacks, from Israel's air force to artillery, have brought the total death toll in Gaza to 181 overnight, including 47 children, since fighting broke out, released on May 10. Meanwhile, thousands of rocket attacks by Hamas and other militant groups have killed 10 people in Israel, including 2 children. International diplomats say the UN Security Council met separately twice last week to address the growing violence. However, so far unable to agree on a public statement, because the United States is a strong ally of Israel, they did not believe it would be helpful. State Department spokesman Ned Price said, the Secretary of State reiterated his call for all parties to de-escalate tensions and stop the violence that has claimed the lives of many Israeli civilians and Palestine, including children.
Newsletter 4. Britain reopens after 4 months of lockdown because of COVID-19. One great news: when from 17 May 2021, millions of Britons can socialize indoors in limited numbers, hug each other, go to pubs. When the lockdown decisions due to COVID-19 are eased. It is said that the ban on foreign travel was also lifted and replaced with new regulations. However, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson said all British people still had to be careful and get tested twice a week. Together, we have reached an important milestone in our path out of the lockdown, but we must take the next step with extreme caution, he said. When COVID-19 restrictions are eased, 65 million Britons will have some freedom after undergoing 4-month lockdowns, with the strictest restrictions in peacetime history being imposed. According to the British press, that day is an important day for the mood of the people as well as for the British economy, especially those industries that have been hit hard by the restrictions. According to industry estimates, nearly 1 million hospitality and leisure workers will return to work on May 17. Observers believe that the UK's easing of restrictions comes amid an 8% increase in the number of virus infections in the country in the past week. The number of deaths last week also doubled, from 2 cases on May 9 to 4 cases on May 16, bringing the total number of deaths from COVID-19 in the country to 127,679 cases. The number of people receiving 2 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine in the UK has reached 20 million. It should be known that during the blockade, British police broke up many protests, festivals, stopped religious activities and fined up to £10,000 for young people participating in parties. May 17 is an important day for the mood of the people as well as for the UK economy, especially those sectors that have been hit hard by the restrictions. Newsletter 5. China's skyscraper shakes, causing panic. The latest news is that employees working inside the SEG Plaza Tower in Shenzhen panicked when they saw things shaking and everyone tried to find the fastest way to escape. Thousands of office workers and panicked shoppers fled the 355-meter-high SEG Plaza Tower, the symbol of the city of Shenzhen, when the building began to shake and sway at noon on May 18. Must evacuate all people in this 79-story building. The individuals all said that we all felt the shaking clearly. Some employees went barefoot and rushed to escape. People rushed through the streets to quickly leave the building. It is known that SEG Plaza, where the headquarters of Shenzhen Electronic Group, SEG, was completed in 2000. In the global ranking of tall buildings, by skyscraper.com, SEG Plaza is the second tallest building, 104th in China and 212th in the world. The relevant authorities are currently investigating the cause of the shaking of the building. The Shenzhen Emergency Management Authority said there were no earthquakes in the city at the time. Local weather reports also showed that the wind speed in Shenzhen was around 27 km/h at the time, unlikely to cause tall buildings to shake. Experts say it's rare for buildings to wobble so clearly that people inside can feel them. Residents are not currently allowed to return to this building. The cause of the shaking is being verified by different departments, the Emergency Management Agency said. It should be known that building collapses are not uncommon in China, where lax construction standards and rapid urbanization have led to hastily constructed construction sites. Last May, a 5-story hotel in Quanzhou City, Fujian Province, collapsed due to poor construction, killing 29 people. This video here is the end. Thank you for your follow-up attention. If you find that the channel's video is useful, please take a moment to subscribe, like, and support the channel. Thank you very much, and see you again in the next channel video.